Antonio takes his first steps on Spanish soil. After more than 7 years in prison, this Cuban dissident is a free man, in exile.
I'm sad to have had to leave my island, but I had no other option except to stay in prison. Until 11 o'clock last night, I was in the custody of the Cuban political police. They held me until I boarded the flight. Nobody in Havana told me I was free.
After years spent in dank jail cells, with only rare glimpses of daylight, the former political prisoners can now share freedom.
I've just lost my tonsils because of the inhumane treatment. I now have a slipped disc. I've been so ill. I'll never forget.
Jose Ubaldo was one of dozens of opponents of the Castro regime who were jailed in March 2003, a date carefully chosen. The eyes of the world were focused on the outbreak of the Iraq War. Now Jose intends to remain an activist.
I'm going to be a better man, a better patriot. I will be tougher, and I will fight for the freedom of my country, the freedom that was denied to us for the past 52 years.
A condition of the release deal brokered by the Cuban Catholic Church was that these prisoners be sent to Spain with their families. Manuel is here with his wife and children.
I was allowed very few visits. In the beginning, it was once every 3 months. Every 3 months. My family has suffered a lot, as much as I have.
For 16-year-old Emmanuel and his younger brother, this is the very first time they've seen their father without the prison bars between them.
It was sad. How can you live without a father at home? I didn't want this life, but I had to make do and suffer.
When they first arrived on July 13th, the dissidents stayed at this hotel, courtesy of the Spanish government. Since then, some have been set up in more permanent homes. Julio Cesar arrived on the first plane. He has asked to stay in Madrid with his family and is in the process of getting Spanish papers. His dream is to find a job and to settle down. But for the time being, he's trying to adjust to his new life.
I have to learn to live as a free man in a democracy. Getting used to this new reality is not easy. The worst isn't the lack of physical freedom, not being able to come and go as you want. No, the worst is the fear the regime has implanted in your mind. All the time you're thinking, I can't do this, I can't say that, I can't go there.
Julio will stay here, but for others, Spain will be the first stop on a journey to other countries. The Spanish government has already asked EU member states to open their doors.